Wow, I can feel the microplastics hitting my veins from this beautiful, crisp Essentia that I get from my local gas station, my local watering hole. The gentleman who works there asks me every time I see him how my back is doing. To be honest, my back hasn't hurt in maybe 2 years, so not sure if he's mixing me up with someone else, but we have a nice rapport. You know, I tell him my back's feeling great, and it brings him great pleasure, and that's all I can give. If you're watching the video version, you'll see I'm in a new setting. I'm on a nice, cozy couch, and I can only imagine the angles that this couch is giving me. I've noticed in my social clips, honestly in the episodes in general, I am giving such a profound double chin. And it's so misleading from the rest of my body. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know how I'm supposed to sit, how I'm supposed to project the neck, but I can only imagine that this couch is not on my side. I was kind of fighting with this pillow right here because it was kind of pushing me in a weird way. I was getting a little overstimulated on that. So we have since kind of found a middle ground. But guys, we got things to discuss. You know, I wasn't planning on doing a solo episode for a minute, but things have happened. Okay, tales have been told. Some life has been lived. And I need to get some things off my chest. Off my robust, rotund, Rubenesque chest. I feel like it's imperative rather, to ask, you know, what the fuck has been in the air lately? There has been something so sinister afoot. So many of my friends, acquaintances, and the like, I feel like have been going through something the last, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks. Okay? I don't know if they're dropping, you know, bad vibes over the crops. I don't know if there's something in the stars, in the sky, in our orbit, if you will. But it's not good. It's quite bad, actually. So this should come as no surprise, but the story that I have for you today revolves around a man, nay, a boy. Well, he's a legal man, but on the inside, perhaps a mere child. And I just want to say, you know, the cultural phenomenon of the fuckboy is understudied. Okay, I know it's prevalent. I know we have all had our fair share. Candidly, I'm a little late to the game with the fuckboy. Okay, I have had my fair share of the mentally ill, of the downtrodden, of the poor. But the fuckboy was never really my niche. I feel like it never really kind of called me in. I know that there's quite an allure to the fuckboy, but this one was insidious. Okay, this one, similar to a cult, you know, grabbed me in from the jump, looking fine, okay, looking safe. Well, safe is maybe a stretch, but looking intriguing. And then it wasn't until I was, well, getting teabagged did I realize, oh, something ain't right. So I just want to, you know, I want to find some common ground and say that I too now have been dysregulated by a fuckboy, okay? I too have put my bedtime aside to let this gentleman come over at midnight on a school night. School night for me. Again, I need to reiterate, this man is 23 years old. So, it was a beautiful August night. I had re-downloaded Hinge. Now, I candidly use Hinge for maybe some nefarious activities. I wouldn't say I use Hinge these days to, you know, fall in love. I wouldn't say I use Hinge for its arguably intended purposes. But I don't think I'm alone in that, clearly, based off of what I'm about to tell you. So, something about me is that when I lost my virginity at 18, actually, we can even go further back. I have always been attracted to older men. I don't know what it is. Some of you could say daddy issues. I don't know. There's something. I mean, when I was 19, I was making out with a 45-year-old. Didn't see anything wrong with it, and candidly still don't. Now, he was always on ketamine, and I could taste it when he would sweat, and that was troubling to, navigate as a mere 19-year-old. But that's not the point. The point is, I've noticed, as I've turned 30, I'm like, I've never really hooked up with someone younger, you know? And so when I downloaded Hinge, did I pay for the upgrade? Yes. Okay. Granted, you can still choose your age range without the upgrade, but I needed to add the height. I'm sorry to all my short kings. You have my blessing, you have my love and respect, but I need something 5'11" and up. And that's a me thing. I'm willing to carry that blood on my hands, but I set the age range to 21 to 40. I wanted to make it as broad as possible. And if you haven't caught on, I was in heat. Okay? I had no one in the roster. Let me rephrase. I had no one in the roster that I wanted in and around my holes or my aura. I wanted something fresh. I wanted something new. This interest of what would it be like hooking up with someone younger, again, of legal age. Hello? So this gentleman comes across my desk. Okay, he's 23. And he is so hot, I thought I was getting catfished. We start talking. Mind you, I'm with my friend. We're getting drinks. I'm having a crisp ginger ale. And, when you use this app for, bouncing on it, you got to be upfront. I'm not here to pussyfoot around, okay? And he had a picture of his back, and I have a thing for backs. I have a thing for soft built backs. Same with arms. It's something carnal. I don't know. I don't ask these questions. So, we had a little fodder from the jump in the messages and the DMs and the Hinge DMs. And I very quickly was like, I'm trying to nuzzle in that back. Okay, I'm setting the foundation. Now, he proceeded to say, "Are you all talk?" Guys, if only he knew. Am I all talk? I literally fucked a woman just because I wanted to know what it was like. I set my destiny. Am I only talk, please? So I said, fuck around and find out. So we set a date. We set a date to get drinks, let's see if we vibe. And the night comes, and of course it was a beautiful evening where the hair, the makeup, the outfit, everything was just immaculate. Okay, when the foundation just sits right, there's no crumbles, there's nothing in the nose corner, everything was just, the stars were aligning, okay? I show up, we choose a bar near my house. Again, I have ulterior motives. And candidly, he is well aware. We have exchanged some texts where we're understanding the ground that we're walking on, okay, that we're about to slide on. What? We get drinks. He is even hotter in person. Okay, it's alarming. Now, I consider myself a pleasant date, but I also don't know how much I have in common with a 23-year-old. I did find out that he had just watched Devil Wears Prada for the first time, and that was disconcerting. But we rolled with the punches. I'm not here to judge. Next thing I know, we're at my place. Uh-oh. Okay. I don't know what to expect. Because in my head, I'm like, this could go either way. It could either be so horrific, because again, this man is 23 years of age, or it could be kind of tea. And maybe we explore some things. Who knows? Again, I am always down to try something new. Now we get to kissing. This man is one of the best kissers I have ever had in my life. I was clutching my pearls. I'm getting flushed thinking about it. It was truly out of this world. So immediately I'm like, okay, I'm fucked. Literally, metaphorically, spiritually. And I also just I hope this man doesn't hear this episode because he does not deserve any fucking praise. But this man's skin tone, his skin was one color. Does that make sense? Like, just my arm has at least 36 Pantone codes. And that's a shout out to graphic designers. But his skin was like butter. And he smelled, when the pheromones are right, it's not even that he smelled like cologne. It just was like this delicious. Oh, it sounds like I'm gonna fucking skin him. Anyway, next thing I know, I'm butt-ass naked on my back. How did that happen? When I tell you, this gentleman laid the pipe, okay? Emmers was dickmatized within 47 seconds. I mean, it was shocking. And I was like, how is this where did he learn this? And it was so intimate. It was constant eye contact, which I love. I'm like, let me look into the soul, okay? And he would hold me at certain points. Hello? I mean, it truly threw me for a loop. There were parts, I don't even think I was in my body at one point. I was like, what's happening here? I'm not here. Are you here? So that was a whole, journey. I very quickly gathered, I'm fucked. I'm screwed. I'm chopped, as the kids say now. So the night ends. All right, I'm on cloud 9. My back has been realigned. My spirit has been realigned. I mean, what a gift, okay? We see each other 2 nights later. And it's more of a cozy vibe, okay? We watch Black Mirror, ? Never seen that. Don't need to do that again. Really had a hard time with anything with AI and different dimensions. It sends me into a fucking spiral, okay? We end up fornicating to the Truman Show, which would not recommend. I'd find something a little more light. But nevertheless, she persisted. And again, the sex was great. Oh, you guys, it was so good. Fuck. Okay, stay with me. I'm gonna need you guys to be strong. Okay, we cannot lose sight of the fuckery that ensued. And I need to say this for myself because I'm getting a little hot and bothered just thinking about it. Okay, he used to, when I was on top, he would look up at me and he would stick his tongue out when he wanted to make out more. Like, you can't do that. That is illegal. That is a felony. Okay, so we have our second rendezvous. And this time, again, it's a little more intimate. And I'm just saying that not because I was necessarily catching feelings, but I was like, oh, I was getting a little more oxytocin in my brain than I had originally intended. All right? The physical intimacy, the cuddles, I think a lot was happening against my will in the brain department. So the following day, I asked to hang out. I don't hear from this man for 5 days. Okay, fully ghosted me. And it was so shocking that I didn't even go through, when something like that happens and you're like, did I say something wrong? Was it this? It was so abrupt and so unlike the interactions we had that I was like, oh, this is insane. This is now happening to me. This is my time to be ghosted, okay, by a 23-year-old. God bless. Then the ghost appears. Okay, the ghost appears on a fucking full moon. And he texts me saying, I can't stop thinking about that pussy. Duh. I don't blame you, babe. Even though I can't bend my back, I have found ways to make it seem like I do. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? Fuck this guy. And also, I want to fuck this guy. So we're having a little back and forth. I'm being a little curt. Okay, a little terse. we're trying to make plans. It's not really working for a few days. He tries to come over one night when I'm dead asleep. I hadn't even shaved my asshole. I was like, I'm in no shape to be, face down, ass up. No, 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 no. So he sets the plan. He knew I had a concert the following night. And he said, okay, I'm going to sleep over after the concert. Now, something about me you should know is I don't really do sleepovers. To me, they are very intimate. If I'm dating someone, that's one thing. But it's just, if we're fucking, listen, I snore in the back of my throat. I'm not a pleasant sleeper. I don't really like having someone else in my bed. No one's going to sleep well. I'm just like, let's not. And say we didn't. But I'm like, you know what? I think at this point he had already sunk his claws in my brain where I was like, let's do it. Let's do it. So the night comes. Okay, I go to the concert, have the time of my fucking life with the girlies. Okay, bumping and grinding. I get home at 11:15. Okay, he comes over promptly, I would say a little before midnight. Keep in mind the night before, he said something along the lines of, I might want to black out at your place. LOL, okay. So I had some tequila in the fridge. Keep in mind, this man is 6'2". Also, keep in mind, part two, I don't really drink. And by I don't really drink, I don't drink. I drink once a year. I drink once a year when I want to go to like a reggaeton club and shake my ass. But that's it. So he comes over. I'm feeding him shots. He probably takes, I would say, it was either like 4 or 5 shots in the span of an hour, which is aggressive. Now, I can tell he's getting a little loose, a little silly. I'm loving it. Okay. We obviously get to fucking. And it was fabulous. I mean, no notes. Again, dicked down for the gods. We're kind of wrapping up. Things are winding down. And he looks at me and he's like, I have to pee. And I was like, by all means. He goes to the bathroom. I hear him throwing up. Which, to my shock, I was like, you were just rock hard for an hour and a half. There was no sign, there was no slurring. I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this. He comes back no more than 30 seconds after. He says, I have to pee again. He goes back, he throws up again. So I'm like, okay. So I have a alarming amount of hair gel in my hair. So I'm like, I'm going to go pop in the shower. I'm going to wash this out. Make yourself cozy. Please make yourself some toast. He's trying to play it off like he's not drunk. He thinks that I thought he just peed twice. As if I don't live in a 1-bedroom apartment, with paper mache walls. So I take a shower. I come back out. He is on my couch, spread out like fucking roadkill. And I'm like, I felt bad. I was like, it's not great. It's not the sexiest thing ever, but we've all been there. We've all been there. I was a little alarmed that off of, 4 or 5 shots that you'd black out, but I didn't have the info I have now. He decides to sleep on the couch. He's like, I cannot move. I sleep in the bed, which honestly was kind of stoked about. Now, I had to leave the next morning at 8 a.m. to go to my aunt's birthday down in Orange County. I slept maybe 2 hours. Okay, because this debacle went until probably 3:30 in the morning. So I wake up, I check on him on the couch. He comes back in bed, we somehow have sex. I don't know. I don't make the rules. Sue me. So I get ready for my event. I am holding on for dear life. I have to drive an hour down to Orange County and be pleasant for another 3 hours and then drive back. Okay? It's now 2 p.m. Mind you, before I left, I was like, hey, I have to head out. Just make sure you lock the door on your way out. I get a text at 2 p.m. I'm still in Orange County at this point. And he says, I'm so sorry. I'm still at your place. I feel like shit. Now, in my head, I was like, you know what? The thought of coming back to my place, he's hungover, we order a bunch of shitty food, we sit on the couch, we just like rot together. I was like, that sounds actually quite pleasant. So I text him, I'm like, no worries, stay put, I'll be up in an hour. I walk into my home. I walk into my 500 square foot home. This man is on my couch, shirtless, sheet white. Okay, you guessed it, he is not a white person, so this was extra shocking. Drenched in sweat and shaking. So I'm like, oh, okay, so this is immediately not cute. This is immediately scary. So I sit on the couch, I'm like, are you okay? What have I missed in the past 4 or 5 hours? Sorry, my friend just texted me. I just found out the date was good. God bless. Well, I'm glad someone's having a good fucking time with men. Because it ain't me. He tells me he has not been able to keep any food or water down all day. It's now 3 p.m. Okay, we're in the danger zone. He tells me this had happened once before, and he had to go ready for it to the emergency room. So in my head, I'm like, am I going to have to take this gentleman to the emergency room? Now, I immediately go into caregiver mode. And that is something about me. I am a natural caregiver. That may come as a surprise. But if someone is in need, I have teeth in mouth. I am ready to fucking go. So I prop him up. I'm trying to get some electrolytes in him. I am literally holding a bucket in front of him where he's throwing up bile. And if you have emetophobia, I'm so sorry about that. At this point, I was like, okay, I'm a little scared. Like, this is no longer like a cute hangover. Come to find out, he didn't have dinner the night before. Not even a damn snack. At least a spoonful of peanut butter. And he knew. Oh, it's so 23. So I decide in a moment of panic, you guys, please don't judge me. I got an IV to come to the house. Okay, I know. When I was sick earlier this year, I couldn't even rationalize getting one for myself. Okay, I refuse to tell you how much it was because it was so absurd. I literally refuse to tell you it was $350. There's no fucking way I'm going to tell you that information because it's so shameful. This man from a cartoon showed up at my house, okay? He talked like this, and he was just super fucking jazzed to make my friend feel better. So he came in with a bag of the goods, okay? He administers the IV. I'm trying to get him to eat like a piece of toast. It's me and these two men in my home, vibing, okay? I am out here fighting for my life in my own way, okay? So the gentleman leaves. He's starting to feel better. There was Zofran in the IV, helps with the nausea. So what do? I order Erewhon. Hey, Em, why don't we get something a little more sensible? Why don't we get something that's not $75, okay? So I get this fucking scallywag, his chicken soup, and his buffalo cauliflower. Also, who the fuck wants to eat buffalo anything after having alcohol poisoning? But I'm not here to judge, okay? He tries to stomach a few bites of this soup, and it immediately, the symptoms come back. I mean, tenfold. Tell me why this man threw up chicken noodle soup into my bathroom sink. Bathroom sink. Okay, I was fishing out chunks of chicken out of my bathroom sink. I literally took a pipe cleaner to the drain, okay? I was pulling out mirepoix. Just tiny carrots and celery. So I end up giving this gentleman 2 Pepto-Bismol. Okay, I'm like, I feel like Pepto-Bismol, you can never go wrong. That shit's locked and loaded with the goods. Does it make your shit black? Yes. But that was of no concern at this point. The man takes 2 Pepto-Bismol, kind of knocks out for a bit. It's now like, I would say 9 p.m. This man has been at my home for nearly 24 hours at this point. I did not realize that I was probably in a dissociative state this whole day just because I locked into caregiver mode. I couldn't really conceptualize what was going on. I just knew my services were needed. So, I told him, I was like, okay, I am exhausted. I'm going to go to bed. You're welcome to spend the night here. I have work in the morning. So the plan was he was going to spend the night, leave the next morning. He comes back to bed. We somehow, against all odds, have sex for maybe like 9 minutes. Okay, I was on top the whole time. I was like, if you go so far as to even lift your head, you'll probably pass out. Okay, so I just bounced on it for a little bit. Sue me. And we're wrapping up. We're ready to go to Sleepy Village. He's like, okay, I'm just going to use the restroom really quick. He goes to the bathroom, and I notice he's gone for far too long. Okay. And he texts me. He's like, I'm not sick. I'm just texting my mom. It's like, okay, whatever. Maybe like another 5 to 10 minutes pass, and this man is still not in the bed. So I open my bedroom door, and I notice the front door is open. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I peep my head out the door, and he's in the street in his underwear and socks on the phone. Okay, it's 10 p.m. at this point. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I go back in bed, and then all of a sudden, once I was alone with my thoughts, I had no distractions, just an absolute rush of anxiety hits my body, okay? Keep in mind, I am so sleep deprived, okay? I don't know what the fuck just happened today. I'm also like, this man is keeping me up right now. He's probably keeping my neighbors up. How did I just spend nearly $400 on this man I barely know? Every thought was coming to my mind. Immediately, I'm like, oh, he's got to go. It's a wrap, okay? Exit, stage fucking left. So I go outside. I'm probably visibly anxious. And he's kind of trying to get me, like, away from him on the phone. So I'm like, there's no fucking way he's on the phone with his mom, who lives 2 time zones away. And I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I think I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed. Is there any chance you can drive home? If you don't, whatever. He's like, yeah, no worries. So we pack up his things, and we're outside of his car, okay? Tell me why, in my own state of fucking dysregulation and sleep deprivation, I ask him if he's mad at me. You guys, I hope that gives you a glimpse into where my head was at. He was like, no, what? I was like, are you mad? Like, I'm sorry, I'm kicking you out. Oh, Emily. We say goodbye. I FaceTime my friend, and I immediately break down. Bitch, I am sobbing, okay? I felt like I was having a manic episode. Like, full-blown mania. All right? Girl mania. Dog, do you guys remember Girl Mania? Was that just a Southern California thing? Okay, if you guys don't know what Girl Mania is, holy shit. It was this beautiful establishment, generally in a mall, okay? And you would have birthday parties there, and you would fucking get your makeup done. You would get your hair in all these maybe culturally inappropriate ways, and then you would learn a fucking dance routine that was filmed in, like, on 2 pixels. Oh my God, I would circumcise myself right now to be in a Girl Mania. I think that was the last time I felt like true, pure, unadulterated joy. Just putting my fingers in like some blue, glitter eyeshadow that was absolutely going to give me pink eye. But that was bliss. Okay, Girl Mania. So I thought I was having manic. I wasn't. I just was so sleep deprived. I was fucking exhausted. I was also like, what did I just set myself back fucking 10 years worth of work on myself with this vile human being. Again, we don't know that he's vile yet. Also, keep in mind, before this night happened, he was going to come over another night, and he was like, can you get me drunk? LOL. And I was like, yeah. So I go out, I buy tequila for this man. At 10 p.m., he tells me, I'm going to go to the gym right now. I'll slut you out another night. Oh my God. So after all of this data, okay, I'm like, all right, the dick can't be that good to be putting up with all this tomfoolery. A couple days go by. This man, I wake up to a text. Okay. I'm going to need everyone to lock in for 1 second. Put yourself in my shoes, okay? 2 days after what was just an absolute hellish 24 hours, okay, I wake up from Sleepy Village. I'm ready to take on the day. I look at my phone. I see a text. What does it say? Can you be my sugar mommy? Oh. No, everyone take a beat. Take a breath. Can you be my sugar mommy? And you're probably thinking, was he joking? Like, was it a bit? He was not. And I know for a fact he was not, because when he was over one night, he was talking about how he's actively looking for a sugar mama, and like his age range on Hinge is higher because he's open to that possibility. The rage that filled my loins getting that text, after having spent an ungodly amount of money on this person, who didn't even offer, by the way, to pay me back in any sort of form. I mean, not even like $5, a couple dimes in the, in the cup holder. Nothing. So I'm about to fucking lose it. And, I end up telling this man, I think we got to go our separate ways. Thank you for the great dick. God bless you. I'm out. I'm out. But see, here's the thing, is it gets worse. It gets worse. Because guess who gave me chlamydia? How about that? After all of this shit, this man gives me truly a gift like no other. One with no gift receipt. Okay? Final sale. Chlamydia. And you know what's even fucking crazy? First of all, I even asked him. I was like, hey, when was the last time you got tested? Oh, earlier this summer. I was like, well, have you been with someone since? He's like, oh, we used a condom. Lie. Lie. And here's the thing. Had he been honest, there would have been a little more room for grace. But you lied to me about getting tested. You put your beautiful dick in me that fucking gave me chlamyders. Oh, and so here's the thing. I don't raise my voice. I'm not really the angry type. Okay, I just shove that shit down historically. When I tell you, when I opened up my fucking medical portal and saw that positive result, I texted that man. I said, call me now. It's important. Guess what he said? You can call me. Get the fuck. Who raised you? I need to speak to your mother. We need to have a fucking conference call with your mother. All right? So I call him. He doesn't even say hello. I said, hello? He goes, hey. When I tell you that I flew off the fucking, flew off the rails. I was speaking in tongues. I don't know what I said, but it wasn't good. And to be honest, I probably could have gone even worse. I could have pulled out shit from past. I mean, I was feral. And unfortunately, it felt really good. It did. I felt like I cured, feminine rage 8 generations back. I did some damage on that call, and all I heard him say on the other line was, I can prove, hung up, blocked. Bye. Bye. And it just, there's so much I want to say to this. A, should have known he's fucking 23, okay? The man just watched The Devil Wears Prada. What did I expect? You know? Clearly, I knew from the jump he wasn't Prince Charming, but I was so kind of down on myself in the sense I was like, how did I let this man disrespect me so profoundly, like time and time again? And after sitting on it, not his dick, but the thoughts, I realized, I think I needed it. Okay, I think I historically am a very pragmatic dater, lover, whatever, in the sense that if I see any sense of a red flag, I'm out. Now, I realize that that's it's a little destructive and it's a hyper self-protection mechanism. So I think I needed the pendulum to swing a little far the other way, where I was swimming in red flags. Could not have been redder. And I also think there's something to be said when we do work on ourselves, whether that's through therapy, through your own internal journey with friends, whatever that looks like. I think it's so easy to intellectualize the work you do on yourself without ever truly living it. Meaning, I think it's easy to stay in your head with all of these things you want to either change about yourself or patterns you want to break, or you're journaling about, the connection of dating with your parental figures. And, I want to start bringing in a love where I'm being cared for and this and that. But I think sometimes you need the real life experience to really embody the change. Now, am I saying this to make myself feel better? Maybe. So let me have that. But being in my bed when he's outside on a phone call and I am physically having a reaction to these every single old pattern that I have had with men, truly in one person. I mean, one person triggered all of this old shit. The fact that in that moment, my body was screaming so loudly to get out, I think that's where the shifts happen. Sometimes you need to be challenged in these ways in real life in order to realize, how did I feel in that moment? Do I want to change this behavior? Otherwise, if you're perpetually in your mind thinking about what you want the future to be, who do you want to be in these relationships, what do you want to bring in, sometimes you got to be tested. And I got tested violently. And I just feel like this experience with him, really put a fucking Hollywood-size light in my soul and was like, the people-pleasing, babe, the people-pleasing, we're done. We're done. I can't do it the tap is dry. And here's the thing, I will always be a caregiver. That is something that is so innately in my mitochondria. But gone are the days where I'm going to be people-pleasing for people who don't deserve it. Did I need to get him a mobile IV? To be honest, I don't know. Could he have died in my place and then I'm on trial? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I dodged a bullet there. But, there was a time where, oh my God, you guys. There was a time where I blew the gentleman who helped me the night of my car accident. We need to get into this really quickly. I got into a car accident earlier this year. The woman totaled my car. I was on the way to a date, okay? And by date, it was a date, but we were doing more of a physical thing, okay? I didn't really know this man a whole lot. And he ended up showing up to the accident because I called him. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to make it tonight. He's like, okay, where are you? And he showed up. He really did show up in that moment. And, he took my things. He picked me up dinner. He literally cleaned my wounds in the fucking sink. And in my brain, it was so foreign to be taken care of in that way that, of course, instead of me just accepting the care that this man was giving me, okay, while we were in the shower, mind you, my knee was busted. Like, couldn't put weight on it, huge gash, puffy, whatever. I hop out of the shower to get him a towel, and then I literally, like, fucking hunchback down and was just gobbling up his dick, okay? Literally one knee bent, my busted knee out to the side, and I'm just, why? And even he was a little like, what? I'm like, first of all, it's hard in my mouth. Okay, you're not going to say no. But I didn't need to do that. I could have just accepted the care and the love. And love, I mean, love doesn't have to be this like romantic. I mean, it was just, he was very, I felt taken care of that night, which, as history shows, is a rare feeling for me. So, the people pleasing is gone. Now, with that being said, I have created a list, okay, of things that I am no longer hiding, okay? These are things that are authentically me, that maybe I would have, not told people I'm dating because I didn't want to be a burden or I didn't want to upset anyone, and those days are over. Okay, so I'm going to read you off my list of things that I am standing 10 toes down in, and they may upset you, and that's okay. Not my problem. Now, if you tell me you're upset, I'll be absolutely fucking devastated, so don't tell me. Number 1, farmers markets are a fucking scam. Okay? I thought if we're cutting out the middleman being the grocery store, that we can bring the prices down. Why is 1 carrot $27? Also, why is a farmer's market always hot? Even in the dead of winter, I am drenched in sweat. There is truly beads of sweat dripping down my back as I'm trying to navigate which aisle is, front and back. And am I supposed to pick the right fucking tomato? Also, a child is like choking on an apricot pit. 2 dogs are fighting. It's so... Pass. They also feel very performative to me. They feel very performative to me. I understand there's something kind of whimsical about it. You put on your Sunday's best and a jelly sandal in your tote bag, but enough is enough. Number 2, I'm seeing Louis C.K. in December. I will not be taking any further questions on that, and I will be sitting 4 rows from the stage. Number 3, my favorite item at C's Candy is going to be a lemon truffle. Are you pissed? It's a lemon truffle, and I know some of you guys ride so fucking hard for the Scotch Mallow. And to that I say, broaden your horizons. There is something so delicate about the lemon truffle, and yes, it is literally a lemon-stuffed chocolate. I understand, it sounds horrific, but it's delicious. And you can't take that away from me. The next one is I love rest. I am one who will never pass up the opportunity to nap. I have friends who need to work off the momentum of the day, and I need breaks in between. Okay, I'm sorry. It doesn't mean that I don't want to hang out. It just means I gotta turn it off. Okay, I need to put head to the pillow, and I need to go somewhere else that doesn't require any social activity. Okay, that even goes, I did a trip with 2 friends to Spain and Portugal. They wanted to go to a museum, and I said, you know what? I'm going to get a blowout, and I'm going to take a nap. And it was fine. There was peace. There was peace to be had. Everyone did what they needed to do. So please do not take rest away from me. The next one is I will no longer be hiding my squatty potty when a gentleman comes over. I understand that if you were just inside of me and you take a tinkle and you see that there is a small, plastic stool beneath my toilet with which I put my feet on to give me a more geometric angle to release my bowels. It's not the sexiest thing. I get that. I will make space for that. But you also have to make space for the fact that I'm shitting well. I'm shitting well. Don't you want me to be healthy and thrive? And if you don't, you gotta pee outside. I don't know what to tell you. The squatty potty stays. Now, the next one is a bit shameful, but I am going to stand 10 toes down on this one, and it is the fact that I don't know the difference between Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. I don't. And I understand that could be a 3-second Google search with which it would give me a full AI rundown of what is what. Is one the book title and is one a character? Are they two completely separate books? Is it even by the same author? Is it the same person? Again, I don't know. Sue me. The next one is the I need breakfast, period. But I also need breakfast before we have any sort of, morning coitus. I need a little nosh. Because if you are trying to get me to throw that ass back before I've had even just like a measly crumb of a granola, you're pulling from my reserves. I'm going to get a little lightheaded while I'm bouncing on it. I wish I wasn't built this way, but I'm trying to understand the way that my system works, and and we don't have to cook anything stinky. You don't have to give me like a lox bagel with a scallion cream cheese. But if you wouldn't mind fetching maybe like a small yogurt parfait with just like a light, Greek yogurt, a honey drizzle, maybe a little scoop of peanut butter for the protein. I think that will set us both up for success, and I want us both to win. So give me a snack. Now, the next one is as follows. I don't want to go camping with you. And I literally felt the weight of the world coming off my chest as I said that. And I arguably don't even want to go hiking with you, which is crazy because I'd like to think one with nature. One of my best friends does think I was birthed from a tree. But I'd like to appreciate nature in the way that I feel fit, and doing like a weekend camping trip where I'm using a leaf, or even worse, bringing my toilet paper back with me. I think I've come a little too far in my life to put up with that at this point. And I want you to go camping. Please, my God, let that bring you joy, but please release me from the shackles of, sleeping on a cot where a red ant is going to crawl up my holes. These are the fears. So skip. The next one is I don't like games. And not in the sense of like games when you're dating. I don't prefer those per se, but I'm not a game girl. I'm not like a let's sit around and play, I don't even know games names. I do kind of fuck with Fishbowl. Fishbowl I'll make some space for. But if you have a birthday party that is centered around games, or where we have to, do a scavenger hunt around the city trying to, collect ornate pebbles from the lake, which have like a message to go to the chocolatier, just go ahead and you can just remove me from that one. You know what? Actually invite me so I know that you love me, but don't be offended if I say no. The love is still there. I'm good on the game. And I want to close out with this last one. And it's just that I want to be taken care of. If this 24 hours with this gentleman, this wretched 24 hours taught me anything, it is that I am officially ready to be taken care of. And I don't mean that in a gross way. Maybe I fucking do. I don't know. But I'm ready to be tucked in. I'm ready for someone to read me, Junie B. Jones, Mrs. Pigglewiggle. And I am ready to know what it feels like to truly be cared for. Because gone are the days where I bleed out for these men who do not reciprocate. And I understand I am very much a part of this. I am not playing the victim in it. You know, I understand that these are old wounds where it is more comfortable for me to give love than it is to receive. But baby, let today be the day I am ready, and I hope you are too. Because you know what? If any of you resonate with this, if any of y'all feel like you have so much love to give, we are deserving of the same love. We are deserving of someone giving us a mobile IV. Okay? We are deserving of throwing up chicken noodle soup in someone else's sink. Let's not do that because it was really cumbersome getting rid of, but oh, I'm ready. I'm ready to let the love in, baby. So the fuckboys are out. Okay? The love is in. And if someone wants to just absolutely strap me in and take me for a ride, what? I'm going to let us all sit with that for a moment because I don't know where that came from. But I'm ready to lock the fuck in. So I think that is just about going to do it for me. I hope the rest of the year there's some levity. I hope there's some more giggles. I hope this fuck shit is going to lift. If anyone was preying on my downfall these past few weeks, please know that I have fallen down, okay? I come to you on bended knee to release me from these, downtrodden times, okay? I'm tired. I'm tired, but I'm ready. Okay, I love you guys. Bye!